Great to be joined by Joe Willaert, President of FERMA. So Joe, thank you once again for allowing us to come and do this with you at the forum. So tell us a bit about, we're on day one, so a little bit about day one and kind of what you personally, some of the things you want to get from the forum and some of the messages you want to get across to the delegates.
I have three major messages I want to give to the delegates. First of all, the function of risk management and the fact that risk management should be supported by education, by one of my teams, communication, leadership. That was what was really my theme of my 2 years presidency. And it's very important that people understand that we have an important role to play in the challenges of our boards. We can support them, and they need us to reach their targets, to finalize the strategy. We are there to avoid roadblocks, obstacles. We are there to support them and not to be an obstacle in the business. The second important message for me is Europe. We are a European organization, and Europe has one of the crises it had already, but Europe always came strengthened out of these problems and issues. I think now we are faced with popularism, with nationalism, with all these kind of things that risk to have Europe fragmented. I strongly believe that Europe will come out stronger. We see our leaders are much more European-minded than they were before the incident, because they realized that without Europe it's not possible. We see our kids. If I see the Erasmus generation, they speak English, they are very international, and they are very European without losing their national identity. It's very important about that. And my third important message is a message to the insurance market. The traditional insurance, as it was to know, was very important and did a hell of a job. And they are still needed. Pretty sure, I certainly not say that the traditional insurance way should change. But on the other hand, the world is changing. We have new challenges to face. We have intangible risks. And these kind of risks, you cannot manage them like you manage the risks of warehouses, the risks of factories. So I really would like to advocate and to say to the insurers, go away from the traditional disciplines. You had your silos of property, the silo of casualty, the silo of marine. We are going to much more a global support of the risk manager. Go to the exposures of your company, see what you can do to the company, and then you will see that everything is linked. If you take, for example, now the very hot topic, cyber risks. Cyber risks is touching property. Any property policy has cyber. It's touching casualty. A lot of casualty policies have already cyber included. On top, we have completely isolated cyber covers as well. So I think insurers, be with us, go live, evaluate with what we are doing, and I think they are thinking. I see that they are working on it, but I think it's needed to accelerate a little bit, not to miss the boat.
It was interesting, a couple of the other interviews we did today, talking about how risk managers are getting into the board strategies and culture, really properly getting embedded now. Is that something you want to comment on?
Yeah, I think for the time being it's starting. I think in the larger multinationals it is already more or less the case. But I think we have to go much more further. Even if we see the PMEs need probably more than multinationals, because they are not equipped with all these very these disciplines and these specialists. So there, that the risk manager should have a direct access to the board or to the decision makers, not necessarily the board, but it can be a direction committee whatsoever. And at the same time, knowing quite well what happens on the floor. He is there to have an overall view on the risks, on the exposures of the company, to advise the board, to advise the decision makers, not to make the strategy. He's not there to make the decisions. He's there to support the decisions already made. And I think this is very crucial. And it is already there, but not enough. We say that there is really, we are on the crossroads, I said this morning. I think it now, on everywhere, is the momentum for the risk manager to prove that he is the added value the decision-making management needs.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us. And good luck for the rest of the forum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye.